First with cricinfo.com and now in the Tamil publishing space. I have an invitee, as an invitee speaker, speak over here.
You come from lunch and it's the right time to doze off. I hope I'll do some justice to this session. I have done very little with Wikipedia, but I have done a fair bit of work with Cricinfo. And what I want to do is to sort of provide some kind of a framework that, what I would myself want to do with Wikipedia and what I think you can, those of you who are interested in expanding the space of Indic Wikipedia, which you will agree with me has a long way to go if you really want to catch up with English Wikipedia. I'll start by talking about the first nearly 40-50% of the time I'm going to spend on Cricinfo, because I really want to draw parallels to what can be done with Indic Wikipedia. I was one of the earliest volunteer, not the first, but probably the first, within the first third or fourth volunteer. And the whole idea was to populate all possible cricket information into a database. At a time when the concept of a public database itself was not well defined. So please understand that. So it was not really, when I say database, it has nothing to do with the modern computer terminology of database. All we had was a bunch of flat text files. So one of the early volunteers, but I ended up managing the entire volunteer community for a long time, until the whole thing was converted into a commercial entity, and I continued managing the commercial entity as one of the directors of the company. This was a very interesting process, something very similar to what is happening currently in the wiki community. The early volunteers of Cricinfo, we knew each other only through internet. We were all graduate students in various US universities. We had never met each other. In fact, even to this day, I had not met a whole bunch of the initial founding members of Cricinfo. Working with a virtual working ground, which is now today so common, this was again a novelty at that time. I would say that we were probably one of the first ones to deploy this virtual network of volunteers to create content. I started focusing on building cricket scorecards. I'm assuming that all of you are very familiar with cricket, but yet I will describe a little bit of what we were trying to do. When we started in 1996, well, actually the work started in 1993. 1993 onwards, we started putting together complete test cricket database online. At the time, complete test cricket database, that is test cricket database of scorecards of all the test matches ever played until that particular day, it had already been published in the print form. So that's where, where it is going to be very different from when we talk of something like Wikipedia. Here we are starting off with something which is fairly well defined. So if there are, let's say, 1,500 cricket matches, the scorecards of every match is already out there. And all that we were doing was to take what was out there in print onto internet. So nothing major, I would say. The process of recruitment of volunteers happened through a Usenet news group called rec.sport.cricket. And that became a sort of powerful platform where we could solicit volunteers. Something that I don't see much often in a sort of Wikipedia community. But here, we would even go to the extent of specifically giving out a particular year period and saying, can we get somebody to type up scorecards of these following matches? And then we will start working with these volunteers through an IRC channel, which is very similar to chat channels today that you have. And through that, we can train volunteers on what to do and how to do. And these user communities slowly started contributing. So we started putting together the database. The content plan was very simple. Our initial idea was only to put together test cricket scorecards. It was very specific, and the creation was very easy. All you had to do was to buy a book which had the scorecard, select a bunch of matches. No duplication was allowed, so we earmarked who will do what. You just had to type and email it. That was it. So we needed only few volunteers, very few volunteers, about 10, 15. I don't think it ever went beyond 20 at a certain point in time. So it was a fairly easy task. Okay. But what about the quality of the database that we built in the beginning? The quality of database that we built was quite poor. It was bad, actually. It was riddled with errors for several reasons. When you look at a piece of paper and start typing it, it has got to have errors in it. Since we didn't really deploy a proper database and we had only flat files, text files, the formatting varied, naming convention varied, so we had a whole bunch of problems. Okay? But let's now look at a little bit about how this whole database got created. The first set of people who got involved were all quite mad. I mean, they didn't even know what they were doing, but they were very passionate about it. And they were not competent. And that included me. So, I can boldly say this. So I was typing up cricket scorecards, and I was not a trained cricket scorer or a statistician. So I was an average cricket fan with no major expertise in the space. But I was mad. I was doing my PhD, and I didn't focus much on my academics. And most of the time I was spending in typing up these scorecards. And we didn't even have a clear idea of how this was going to be used, who were going to use this, or how big this was going to be. So we had no idea, in fact. And at that point in time, whatever database that we created, it attracted a lot of criticisms. Particularly the professional scorers and statisticians simply hated us, because they'll just look at a scorecard, and we would have, even within the same scorecard, Kapil Dev would have been spelled in 3 different ways. Okay. So it's easy for them to identify the problems in anything that we put up. I'm sure you can start seeing parallels with what we'll talk about later with Wikipedia in particular, right? But then what happened was, slowly, we started getting not so mad people, but fairly passionate people, a little more competent. This was a second stage, really. And these people came in and started reworking on each of the scorecards which were faulty. Okay. So this second process started happening right through. And it was only at the third stage that we really had professionals coming into the picture. And I'm saying less passionate, because if they were, they would have gotten into that much earlier. And I'll talk about why they even got involved with this process of spending their time and effort in typing up scorecards for a public database venture, which was very unclear as to whether it was going to remain voluntary, whether it was going to become a commercial entity. So, if I put in my time, is somebody going to benefit from this? So that question always remained, and we'll come to that. And then at a certain point in time, we couldn't continue to take voluntary help. We had become a commercial entity. Why? That's a big story, but that's another thing that we'll talk about if you want later. But the first set of paid staff that we got weren't great, because we couldn't afford to pay good salary. And then the next stage really involved good, well-paid, very competent staff. And we also had a lot of professional volunteers continuing to work with us. in particular, an entity called Association of Cricket Scorers and Statisticians, ACS. They got involved in dramatically improving the database, and they supplied a lot of proprietary content they had. Until then, they were actually selling those databases to their members for a fee, and they shifted a whole lot of content onto this platform. We have to really understand why they actually did that. By then, we had sort of become sort of semi-commercial, but still, they felt a need to do this. So let's look at this. In the early stage, we were simply copying from other sources. So we weren't creating anything new. And then slowly we started getting accreditation as Cricinfo journalists were allowed into cricket stadia to cover cricket matches. The next level was that we were on par with other news sources. And at the third level, that was a real important level, we became the exclusive news source for a lot of places. Okay. Now, this was a point at which the whole process started shifting from a low grade, low quality content online to a high quality, high grade content. It started happening when we started sourcing content from countries where sourcing content was very difficult. Starting 1997, we started creating or collecting, collecting cricket matches, the data of first class cricket matches. That's all the Ranji Trophy and Duleep Trophy and all these matches played all over India. So a very, very complex network process. Remember that in 1997, the internet connectivity in India was very poor and available it was available only in about 4 metros or so. So we used fax machines and a whole bunch of paid stringers sending scores, which was all collected at one particular center, typed up. By the end of that day, by that night, we had the scorecard of that particular day's play of nearly 20-25 matches. In subsequent years, we started getting into Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and started collecting fairly valuable data which the professional ACS cricket scorers and statisticians were dying to get hold of. It was at that point in time that professionals around the world started seeing the value of Cricinfo. That here is a bunch of people, for whatever reason, who are collecting and giving us the data that we have to wait more than a year to get access to. Every year, the Cricket Board of India, BCCI, will publish an annual. Actually, say every year, last year's data will be published only this year. So somebody in England who is very seriously interested in cricket, a professional scorer cum statistician, will have to normally collect statistical annuals published in each country. And in order to get hold of India data, he would have to wait for nearly 2 years from the time the first match was played. We completely dramatically changed that to same day. So now you can see the kind of value that we added to their life, that they really felt that they had to do something in return. And they told us, look, what you have is really bad quality data. So we will help you dramatically improve your test match database. And they did that. So they provided the data they had, which we incorporated, implemented. So the process of reaching to a level of extraordinarily high quality database had to go through all these stages, from absolutely low quality data to fairly absolutely high quality data. The relationship between Cricinfo and other media also mimicked this whole process. Okay. In the beginning, they took content from Cricinfo, but never acknowledged it. And then slowly it started changing. And then this is a funny thing, that from the internet, they'll take some content from Cricinfo and call it from the internet. where, Cricinfo is just a site on the net, but that was not known to our media. And then slowly that, from Cricinfo started happening. And now it's almost taken for granted that if you really want to take good quality, high class cricket score, you normally take it from Cricinfo. And now you don't even need to acknowledge it because it's sort of assumed that you would have probably gotten it from Cricinfo. Okay. But then the whole process of shifting started happening. By 1996, we registered a company. We still wanted to be a not-for-profit company. It didn't really happen. And then we had in 1999 a lot of investment happening. And then now today as we speak, Cricinfo is now completely owned by ESPN. Okay. But the lessons of this, this whole process of going from one to the other, this, in my opinion, is very, very relevant and something that we can look at for Indic Wikipedia. Let's look at what lessons these could be. Let's first start by looking at the problem. The idea of a wiki, a knowledge database, it's just too large. It's not cricket. Cricket is such a tiny, tiny little thing. So how can you manage something like this, which is so large? And that's it's a really daunting thing. I keep looking at this because of my experience with Cricinfo. I go back and look at it and say, if I have to organize Wikipedia, what will I do? And the real answer is that you can't really do that. So you have to do something else. So what is that? The other problem is that, I don't want to say problem, but at least it appears to me to be a problem anyway. The content addition in Cricinfo was fairly regimented. A lot of people submitted content, but it was approved and added to the database in a sort of hierarchical manner. But that's not what Wikipedia is, right? You do have editors, you do have different levels of, let's say, access in some sense, but it is quite democratic. It's very democratic, and correspondingly you have issues of, constant battles on style, slant, disputes, etc. But that's inevitable, looking at the kind of things that we are dealing with. But even with all these problems, let's look at English Wikipedia, which is extraordinarily successful. It's amazing, actually. I just can't even imagine, though I have been following it right from the early days, how was it possible to put something like this together? We don't even really have a tracked history in some sense, because it's all happening in multiple fronts, and content was getting added every day, and a critical mass was achieved, and suddenly, flood of information coming into it, then quality of the information improved dramatically, editing improved dramatically. And today, without doubt, if somebody wants to refer to anything, you first go to Wikipedia, and when I say Wikipedia, English Wikipedia, and then you look at other sources. Now, can the same thing be repeated for each of the Indic language Wikipedia sites? And my feeling is that it's not going to be that easy, for a variety of reasons. To start with, Wikipedia is basically collection of scholarly content at one level and newsy kind of a content at the other level. I will for a minute skip the news and current affairs related areas. Let's look at the rest, and it is completely, it's about hardcore knowledge. Do we have experts in each of those topics in each of the Indian languages? And that's a very, very huge issue. Let's look at some of the points. Okay. Do we have really qualified people on every topic in each of our Indian languages. Even where we have enough knowledgeable people, what is their relationship with the concept of Wikipedia? Do they feel strongly about it that they should be spending at least, let's say, 10 minutes of their time every day on that? Why is it not happening? So that relationship has still not happened. And we can't even think of completeness in such a scenario. And the bigger problem that I foresee is what I have given last. Most of the experts in India are unfortunately bilingual. It's unfortunately bilingual in that if their needs are satisfied with English Wikipedia, they don't see any need to go to their respective Indic Wikipedia sections. See, if I draw my content from one particular place, that is where my contribution will be primarily. Only if, on the other hand, I think Chinese Wikipedia will do extremely well, without doubt. Our problem specifically with Indic Wikipedia is that our entire culture here is predominantly driven by English, the knowledge culture. For example, this whole conference is in English. We are forced to communicate in English. Otherwise, I'll have to be talking to you in Tamil because I don't know any other language and I don't know how many of you will be able to follow. So, in this kind of a scenario, we are sort of stuck to contribute to English Wikipedia in some sense, and you will have very little inclination to go and try to reapply that to, let's say, Tamil Wikipedia. So, this is always going to keep hampering us. Even with all these problems, what can we do to dramatically increase the quality of Indic Wikipedia? Again, I propose some of these ideas to you. And the first idea that I have is that if you start visualizing Wikipedia overall, that's where the problem is. Because it is difficult to champion something like that, but it is very easy to champion subsections of it. Because that's, in a way, effectively that is going back to something like a cricket section of Wikipedia, where I or somebody or a whole bunch of us can contribute substantially in a particular language. Let me talk about myself a little bit here. I know about Wikipedia, but I have contributed very little. I am a very big user, but I have written very little. These were some of the things that I am very seriously interested in, and I would say I am also fairly qualified to talk about. At least take the first two. I am a book publisher today in Tamil. I work very closely with the writers, those who are living. I know fairly a lot about the writers who are dead now, some of the classic writers of Tamil. I have a very good idea of Tamil books. These are all things that I have thought about several times, but I have still not gotten around to doing anything. As a hobby, I keep, I'm very interested in the heritage, particularly the art and architecture. Hindu iconography, particularly because I keep visiting Hindu temples and there's a lot that I have learnt about. I do a lot of reading on ancient Tamil literature, but all of this I have listed here. I am not saying I have done something. I have done nothing. That's what I am telling you. Let me also extend further. It's not just that I know about this. I also write about this to magazines very regularly. I have a blog. I have a blog in Tamil, which I have been maintaining since 2002. So I have been blogging for the last 9+ years. And I have written about all these issues. And I will say with not a bit of modesty, that I am a fairly good writer, and I am, I also write reasonably good articles on all these topics. But my problem as of now, and I will overcome this, it's not a big issue, is the wiki way of writing. I tried, I experimented a little bit, but I sort of gave up. And it is something that I will get around to this. But also the fact is that there's been little lack of motivation. And I am hoping that, this particular session, this session of, talking to you will sort of push me, at least shame me into, doing something. Okay. So I will certainly, the topics that you see, you will start seeing entries first in Tamil Wikipedia and possibly in English Wikipedia, but primarily in Tamil, that I am going to do some of this. But these are all real issues, that I am putting in front of you. And generally, as a creative writer, I have always been writing, afresh. And the idea of wiki is not to generally keep writing something on your own and keeping on leaving trails. It is also to take up something that is already there and to enhance that. Somehow, again, I have not been able to get my mind to that, of taking up something that is already there and to enhance that. So that is also something that I have to get over. Now, I think really that there should be a very, very strong working e-groups for people who are interested in a specific topic to see how that can be expanded. Okay. Now, this is exactly how we developed the cricket database, where there was almost a day-to-day involvement. Now, you have to tell me whether the current method of I exactly don't know what you are doing in the wiki community of the methodology of communicating with each other. You can certainly tell me what is happening and how robust and comfortable it is. The second thing is, just as the way we went and found the Association of Cricket Scorers and Statisticians, there must be a sort of outreach to go and solicit experts to contribute. Now, how is this going to happen? Is it already happening? Probably some of the more experienced volunteers here will know. But the way to do that again is to bridge the gap. Some of the experts may be able to write up an article and give it to you, but they may not be probably able to put it up directly onto the wiki platform. So there has to be probably a whole bunch of workshops. Other possibility is that you can really pair up somebody who is a technical helper to work with a content writer, a content expert. And this is something that we have done in Cricinfo at various points in time, and that helped substantially. But let's also look at another key point, because I work a lot with the colleges and universities in Tamil Nadu. And the first reaction that I get is that the academia there, and I can see certainly one person from academia here I was talking to. So it's not casting aspersion on any single person, but generally my experience of the academia in Tamil Nadu is that, and must be the same in other places, is that it's somewhat weak, because the focus is so much on exams and original research or writing, or writing explanatory papers or research work is very, very, very limited. So with that kind of a scenario, how are we going to build up good quality database? The other thing is that I don't think just college students will be able to really do justice here. There have been, in some of the meetings that I have participated with the wiki volunteers in different colleges, there have been various talks, but I really don't think this is going to really help. So maybe they will be able to provide a starting platform, but somewhere along the line, the level, the quality has to go up. It has to be through other ways. This you cannot dilute, because the whole idea is that you are trying to create a great database. It has to be of a fairly high standard. So how are we going to maintain this? This challenge will always be there. Okay, so this is a point that I started talking about. Now, I would really be keen to work with specific groups, particularly in the Tamil Wikipedia space, on specific areas and try to provide a certain degree of completeness there. And you can certainly do it for a bunch of sections that I described earlier. Now, if we can spawn such groups in a big way, I think this will help taking the database forward substantially. Now, this is something that we have been talking about in Tamil Nadu for quite a while, but these things have simply not happened at all. At an academic level, we have not really had a good interactive session with the academics about Wikipedia and how they can contribute. I went to one reasonably famous deemed university where the students were busy doing research using Wikipedia, which is they have all been given a term paper to work on, and they were bitterly complaining that they are all writing their papers in Tamil, by the way, because most of the colleges down south of Tamil Nadu, the primary medium is actually Tamil. And they were searching pages and they could get a lot of interesting pages in English Wikipedia, where there was fairly good content. And the corresponding Tamil Wikipedia pages had virtually nothing there. Okay. And their complaint was that, look, if only somebody could populate these pages, it will be much easier for us to write our papers. Then I had to explain to them that it is not that there is somebody sitting there doing this work. It's us. We have to do this. And if it is not there, that's because we as a community, we have not done anything about this. And the teachers in that particular college had very little idea about Wikipedia. Now, if you take up this very large academic community, they can contribute to a certain extent. I mean, the quality we can always look at later. But the least they can do is to start having pages for most sections which are today like non-existent. So something has to be done, and this is a local issue. It's not an issue where people here can do anything, but it has to be locally done in each of the regions where we push it across. And universities have a lot of fund. So it's not that it's the money that is really the problem here. Every college has to conduct a certain number of conferences, and they are eligible for UGC funding, but nothing has happened there in this space. So something can be done to trigger this whole thing, or even probably a package, because most of the colleges, most of the universities may not even have an idea about how to go about conducting a Wikipedia workshop come conference. So if you could even create a framework that this is what you need to do, this is what you can teach. So it's a conference, it's a workshop, it's a month-long activity whereby pages are created. And fortunately, one of the things about Wikipedia is that it's a live experiment site. You can actually go and mess around. I mean, not that I really recommend people to go and delete things, but you can happily add things, and if it is not up to the mark, then somebody is certainly going to improve upon this. Okay. But one of the other things that can be done is that the college students can certainly be used to collect a lot of data. For example, a whole bunch of photographs. There is a very interesting project that I was part of over the last week, where IIT Madras has started a process to create village websites. Notice village websites. And my recommendation to them was, why not create it in a wiki platform, as opposed to a Joomla and a sort of a template and website, etc. Their idea is that they have actually taken a district in Tamil Nadu, and they have identified about 50 villages there. I have trained colleges. It's a Sivaganga district in Tamil Nadu. They've identified about 55 colleges, trained the college students on how to create a website, and send them to those villages. One of the things is that each team must have at least one person who is coming from that village. They've created a fairly interesting website, and I was part of the judges panel, and we selected about 10 websites out of 55. And they are given a further month, and next month they have to come and present their current version of the website, and there will be top 3 prizes. But really think about this, and this, by the way, this has been funded, the whole process has received a funding of nearly 25 lakhs, so 25 lakh rupees. So there's a lot of money out there in academia in India today, and it can be used very effectively in building something like this. So my proposal to them was to actually make use of Wiki. If not now, I mean, as soon as this whole contest is over, transfer all the content created to those village Wiki sites, which can actually be kept live and constantly data added. And the idea that IIT Madras has proposed is to sort of take it to every village. They're saying all India, but at least it can certainly be taken across Tamil Nadu. And these are all bilingual sites. That's the most exciting thing. So this site is in English, it's in Tamil, so you can immediately populate those village websites in both English and Tamil. And a lot of photographs can be taken of a lot of places around. And there you can use research associates, particularly college students. There's also a lot of government created content, which is effectively copyright free. I mean, it's not exactly true, but generally governments have not really caused any problems. The state government created content is plenty. You know, in particular, you know that somewhere along the way, the Wiktionary project, which I very regularly use, it's an amazing English Tamil English Wiktionary. It's a fantastic resource for someone like me in my profession. And it has used substantial body of content created by Tamil Virtual Academy, which is a government funded, 100% government funded institution in Tamil Nadu. It has used quite a bit of data from Madras Lexicon, which is a Madras University lexicon project. And similar content to a great extent is available across universities, and I've noticed large scale.
Take contribution from experts or experts for subsections.
Right.
Right. I was just wondering that why would experts give time if it is fully voluntary and kind of no remuneration or whatever, etc.
Right.
And if there is no incentive like that, it would be probably crowded by people who are not good or mediocre. Don't you think so?
Yeah, that's why I talked about my experience with Cricinfo, where that's exactly how it started. You know, it was the initial content was all populated by people who were not competent enough. The experts, however, did come into the system later. Once the expert believes that he or she has a lot to gain from this, and that has to happen.